Frederick Clifton Moore. The award is named after him, and a lot of people wonder why. Who is Frederick Clifton Moore? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him, but first, let me just say that he was the first president of the Rotary Club of Tallahassee. That was in 1923. And for you math wizards, that's 92 years ago. Frederick Clifton Moore is actually Dr. Frederick Clifton Moore. Grew up in Tallahassee, went to West Florida Seminary, which we know as FSU. Then he got his BA degree from Emory University, got his medical degree from Maryland University. Came back to Tallahassee, and when he got back, he became a physician here in town, and there were only 3 doctors in Tallahassee at that time. World War I came and he joined the Army, became a medical corpsman in the Army and served until he got out. And then he came back to Tallahassee. When he came back to Tallahassee, he held positions all over town. Probably the highest one he held was as mayor of Tallahassee. He he acted as the surgeon for the Florida State College for Women back in those days. And that is who Frederick Clifton Moore is. Was quite a man, and it is a great thing that we named an award after him.
I'm Ivan Johnson. I was the recipient of the Frederick Clifton Moore Award about 13 years ago, I think.
I'm Wayne Edwards. I'm a past president of the Rotary Club of Tallahassee. I'm a past district governor, and was a recipient of the Frederick Clifton Moore Award.
I'm Larry Deeb, and I take care of children with diabetes and have been a member of Rotary for just over 20 years, and I received the award in 2006. The Frederick Clifton Moore Award is a unique Tallahassee event. They're awards that Rotary gives and the community gives to people that recognize various things that you do. But Rotary and the Rotary Club of Tallahassee, in honor of our first president, has really tried to think about the whole person. What have you done with Rotary? What have you done in your career? And then what have you done for the community? And I think that makes it unique because you can honor any one of those, but it's the complete person that the Rotary Club reaches out to. And I believe that makes it special for the recipient. And I know in 2006 I was incredibly surprised because you just don't ever expect it, because you're sitting in a room full of very special men and women, many of whom you know have done significant things for Rotary, for their careers, and for their community.
It's an award that's selected by past members, past recipients of the award. It's an award that is done in secret. There's no running for the award, no politicking. To the person that receives it, it's the highest honor in Rotary that I think you can receive. Yes, they're Rotary International awards that are given, but to be recognized by your peers in the Rotary Club of Tallahassee as a Frederick Clifton Moore Award recipient, to me, is the highest award that you can receive in Rotary.
When you take a look at the club demographics, there are probably plenty of community leaders that are actively involved in their community. There are certainly people who are at the top of their careers and professions, and there are other people who have made contributions to the community in every aspect. However, when you look at the contributions, the career accomplishments, and the Rotary service together, there are very few people who qualify for that. And this year we're honored to have another one of those who is at the top, the peak of their career.
George was born December 23, 1961, to George and Gail Avant to become a sixth-generation Avant Floridian. Family would always be a central theme in George's life. With both an older sister, Garnet, and a younger sister, Inga, George quickly established his male role. Dogs, hunting, and farming were in his blood. He became known as Little George to family and friends, a name that stayed with him for many years. George became a Boy Scout and eventually earned his Eagle Scout badge. He was an experimenter, and he loved sports, playing basketball and later on in high school playing tennis. George graduated from FSU in 1984 with a degree in finance to become a fifth-generation Avant to do so. Family remained a central part of George's life, and in 1990 he married Leanne and adopted her daughter, Leah. A few years later, Callie was born, and then a new Little George arrived. There was Big George II, and now a Big George III. Big George invited Big George II to join him in Rotary. And as everything else George did, he quickly embraced Rotary as a new part of his family. He sat on the board of directors, volunteered to run the Beast Feast fundraising event, and is the MC for the club's annual Roast and Toast fundraising event. In 2005, George was club president. Today, he's known as Mr. Salvation Army Bell Ringer, and each year manages that major event. George is a foundation major donor, Paul Harris Fellow +8, and a member of the Rotary Bequest Society. George is president and owner of Avant Financial, and proudly displays the Rotary 4-way test in his office. First, from Scotty Fielstead. Congratulations for being nominated for the Frederick Clifton Moore Award. Your selfless dedication to your family, friends, and clients penetrate deeply into the Tallahassee community. You've displayed excellent leadership, integrity, and commitment to this organization and all that you do. Thank you for 30 years of great friendship, too many awesome memories to even begin listing, and the strong business relationships we have fostered together along the way. I will always remember when I walked into your agency in 1988, asking who was interested in growing their business and serving more people, and you jumped in. The times we've shared with your kids, cousins, and clients have all been terrific. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor, and know that your best years are ahead. And now, from Jim McCrone.
My name is Jim McCrone. I first met George probably 15 years ago. He was referred to me by another one of his clients who I knew personally, and he has been my advisor for ever since. And then when I retired from the banking world, what better person to go work for or work with than George? When I was asked to say something about working with George, I started writing down or thinking of things to say and how I was going to reflect that in a video, and this is what I came up with. Sorry, George. All seriousness. Laughter is what first came to mind, but I will tell you this. Having known George for as long as I have, it's an adventure working with him. That can be on a positive side as well as maybe a little bit not quite so positive, but regardless of which way it is, it's always an adventure, and it's one that's well worth being associated with. I've enjoyed it. I will tell you this, that when I came and started working with George, he realized that I was a motorcycle rider, and actually went and bought him a motorcycle, and I'm the one that got all the blame. I am not the one that's blamed for George riding a motorcycle. That's all his business. I will tell you about how much of an exciting, fun-loving kind of guy George is, as if you didn't already know this. So right after he got his motorcycle, we take off and go down to Daytona for Bike Week. So we're down there and we're looking at all the venues and all the bikes and all the knickknacks that are all over the place. And the first night we go out to dinner and have a nice meal, and about 7:30 George says, well, let's go back to the room, I'm tired. So here we are at Bike Week, very first night there, and by 8 o'clock George is in the room ready to go to bed. And I'm like, George, the night's just getting started. We got to go down and watch all the motorcycles. I'm too tired, I can't do that. So that's George's excitement for the night at Bike Week. I haven't been able to get him back to Daytona. There will be another time at some point. I will tell you this, if you don't already know, his favorite food by a long shot is fried chicken. He'll go across town for lunch just to get fried chicken. And he does like it when Rotary has fried chicken, just so you know. The other thing you'll know about George is he is pretty good at what he does. And if you don't believe it, just ask him. He'll tell you he's pretty good. I will tell you that he's dedicated to his clients. And George has a very big heart and a very big soft spot in the heart. He's very charitable. Many times I've seen him help people out for no reason other than just sometimes it's more than a casual acquaintance, sometimes it's just a casual acquaintance, but he's very generous. And I think that's something that reflects Rotary's mission too. I think the only thing I'd like to end with is that if you know George, you know that he likes a good joke and he loves a good belly laugh. So share the joy and tell him something that'll get a good belly laugh out of him. He's a good friend, he's a good person to work with, and it's been my pleasure and joy to work with George. And if I can just get him back to Daytona and maybe keep him up till 10 or 11 o'clock, I will think that I've been successful. George, good luck, congratulations.
George is a Rotarian that works to make a difference and views his community both from a worldview and locally. First, from a worldview.
I first met George Avant about 10 years ago. I was in need of some life insurance, and a friend recommended me see George. And we sat down, had a really good session, told him a little bit about what we were doing in Haiti. And he asked me, how much does it cost to feed a school for a month? I said, one of our small schools is about $300. He returned with a check for $300. I mean, I just met this guy. And I was like, that's just incredible. And so, over the years, our friendships developed. We've been involved in different activities together, a Bible study at one time together. And then one day, he just said to me, you should join Rotary. And I said, I don't even know what Rotary is. And he says, basically what you do in Haiti is what Rotary does. So I joined Rotary. This was in 2009. And then Haiti had the earthquake in 2010. And so we got real busy. George was very active, helping us with funding and getting us resources and things like that. And since that time, George has built 2 of our clean water projects in Haiti. Those service 10,000 people each. So 20,000 people in Haiti now have access to clean water because of George Avant's just generosity. And he also, when we were in Haiti 3 years ago, we visited a small school where one of the water towers were. And he asked me, was I feeding those kids? And I said, no, this is not one of the kids feeding programs we have at the school. And so he asked how much it would cost to feed the school for a month. So I told him, and from that time on, the last 2-3 years, he's been sending money every month to make sure those kids are fed. So he's just a generous guy. He's a very genuine guy. I really admire and respect him. I think everybody in the community that knows him likes him. He has this winsome personality about him. But I'm very proud to be his friend, and I'm very proud that he's receiving this award. It's certainly well deserved. Couldn't have gone to a much finer person. Thank you.
Then, in our community.
Hello, my name is Lieutenant Ryan Mayo, and I serve along with my wife as the Corps Officer here at the Salvation Army of Tallahassee. I'm so excited to hear about George's Frederick Clifton Moore Award because it's a well-deserved award. He's been a longtime friend of the Salvation Army. I'm proud to say that he has been an active member of our advisory board since 2013. He currently serves as the treasurer of our advisory board and the head of the finance committee. George has helped along the Army in many ways here in the community by bringing major donors alongside the Salvation Army to support our work. One of the greatest ways that George has come alongside us and helped us out here at the Salvation Army is he took what our club has done for many years, which is, of course, bell ringing during the Christmas season, and he spread that out so that now other clubs in Tallahassee actually participate in the bell ringing day every year for the Salvation Army, which this year, if you were to combine all of the clubs together, raised over $20,000 for the Salvation Army of Tallahassee and the work that we do here in the community. When we moved into this new facility that we're here in now, across from the center of Tallahassee, when we were in the process of raising funds to move into this building, George actually sponsored our main lobby area that we're standing in now. many of our neighbors come into this very room that we're standing for assistance of all kinds throughout the year. Christmas time, summertime, springtime, need knows no season. So this room here has benefited many people and given hope to many people. So we're so grateful that George sponsored the room that we're in now.
My name is Julie Smith, and I'm the Community Relations Coordinator for the Salvation Army of Tallahassee. I met George in 2012 during the Christmas season. We were doing our bell ringing campaign and our Angel Tree program through the Rotary. And our officer at the time was Officer Captain De Silva, and he worked very closely with George and really grew to like him a lot. Consulted him a lot on our grand opening, the purchase of our building, what we were going to do, and we were very lucky to be able to bring him into our advisory board and talk him into doing that with us. I love George because George is a very direct person. George takes a look at financials, and when it's time to report, George will say, "We need money," and that's, you know, the bottom line. I love his humor, and he's always willing to step into anything we ask him to do. He's got great ideas. He's always willing to come meet with us, help us in any way that he can, and I really enjoy getting to know him.
So George, on behalf of your Salvation Army family, we say,
Congratulations, George!
Finally, a word from George's mother, Gail.
Congratulations, George. I'm so proud of you. And you do embody the spirit of Rotary and their ethics. And if your father's looking down from heaven, he would be very proud of you also.